Today's episode of Playing in Traffic is starting at 14th and Brigantine Avenue. And this will be the location of Brigantine Castle. Obviously no longer here, but I mean, for someone like myself, it was a treasured memory. Actually having gone through Brigantine Castle as a little squirt. So I would say right here. And I'm going to post some pictures of the castle itself. That, and you know what, the tide, the surf line actually looks a little similar. But if you see pictures of Brigantine Castle, as many times, and I'm assuming it's high tide, and maybe it isn't even high tide, but the tide is going under the pier. So there was a time where, you know, the castle stood there. There was mold. I mean, I'm sure there was other types of entertainment on that pier, but it extended over the surf line. And a lot of the piers from the 70s and 80s actually had that feature. I remember once being on Steel Pier in Atlantic City and actually seeing the tide roll under the boardwalk while we were standing on it. And that's definitely not something that has happened at any point in the last, oh goodness, I would say at least since the mid-'80s. And it probably goes back even further than that. I really don't have a lot of experience in Brigantine. The only time I was ever in it was when my family and another family in Oxford Circle actually took a trip to Brigantine Castle. And so I don't remember. I think this is awesome right here. It's a nice walkway. Nice seating. Amazing view of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the castle itself would have been positioned right up here on the right. We're passing 12th Street. So the actual coordinates were 14th and Brigantine, and this is Brigantine Avenue right here. So it would be up here on the right, and I'm almost, there's a sign up here that says, "Give seals space." Over here, and I'm actually thinking it would probably right around at that spot, because this would be 13th Street right here, and so it would be coming up here. So if you can imagine this beautiful haunted castle sitting right there, and I'm going to post a picture right about now, and then you have the tide very similarly positioned the way it is now, floating under the castle and the pier. And so it operated from 1976 to 1982. It got hit very hard with a storm that I think it was inoperable in 1984. It sold in 1987 for $1 million. And before it ever, with the plan of demolition, but before it ever got a chance to be demolished, it burned to the ground. And this is right here, right about here. We're going to jump off the one wheel. And right about there. And there goes our seal sign right over here. So right about here. It's a shame there's no marker for it. It certainly deserves one, but I mean, to a lot of people, the haunted houses are not exactly like, the wow factor is not there. But being a big fan of dark rides, being alumni of Castle Dracula, I always track down these places because it's a form of entertainment that's an absolute lost art. It's and greatly missed. So that was right here. The only thing I really remember about it was that was different than, say, like Dracula's Castle, was they had these rat tails. I remember the illusion that it was a rat tail, and that was creepy. I do remember that, and I just remember. I remember being scared. I was young. It didn't take much to scare me, so it was definitely a scary thing. And again, greatly missed. The whole concept of dark rides is greatly missed. They're very rare to find at this point, especially the walkthroughs. Okay, there we have it. Absecon Lighthouse. We're currently on Vermont Avenue. That's like the fuchsia part on your Monopoly board, and Pacific, and that's green. Everyone wanted to own Pacific Ave in Monopoly. I like to stop at Absecon Lighthouse is because of the haunted. It's the haunted stories for me. And you know what? There's multiple ones, and they're worth looking up if you're into that. Let me block the sun out real quick so we can get a nice little perspective. Let's get in the shade. Here we go. I kind of like this image because right behind it is some casino. We'll see you back there. I'm sure I'll get a shot of it when I'm riding on the boardwalk. But yeah, Atlantic City, Absecon Lighthouse. And I actually attended a wedding here. Let's see if we can get an angle. Here we come up on this side. This was the side I was referring to in terms of the wedding that I attended. Shout out to my homie Hank and Fish, who presided over the ceremony that was right around here. And here we are with that. Shout out to Philly Captain with the "Here We Are" again. I can't seem to let that one go. But yeah, so this is like the front part of Absecon Lighthouse. And I remember that service being right here. Again, take a peek. Paranormal activity. I love the lack of upkeep, especially towards the top. That's pretty cool. And this is open for a visit as well. But there it is, Absecon Lighthouse. And we're at Pacific at Rhode Island. So this is Atlantic Avenue, and I kind of get a cool vibe. Obviously not from this building, but this side of the street looks really, really as it was, who knows, 40 to 50 years ago. Probably longer than that. So it's more like, probably like 60, right? 70 years maybe. Look it up. A little bit of the remnants of a time past. And, that's something I'm always going to be interested in taking a peek at. And you look over here and it's like, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, this tall building on the left, for a long stretch of time, was completely not even operating. But Atlantic Avenue, that's some yellow cards. They were popular in the game. Here we go, look at this. This old church here. Old church as well. I like it. Okay, currently entering the Atlantic City Boardwalk off of Pacific Avenue. And I gotta be honest, folks, this is gonna be something new for me, because I don't remember the last time I was on this boardwalk. That's Brigantine down there. We were just visiting there. And here's a nice little shot. This is definitely appears to be an inlet. The north end of Atlantic City. So definitely wandering about on the boardwalk here. Gonna ride around, take a little viz of the Atlantic City Boardwalk and make a few stops along the way as well. My first reaction to this is going to be the fact that these boards, now, having ridden down in Wildwood, I'm going to say these feel pretty good on a one wheel. I mean, like the one wheel actually is it's a very comfortable little ride on this, which is nice. It's a nice jetty out there. I see some fishing going on. Let's see what's going on here. But I mean, the wear and tear from hurricanes and everything, the elements on these, on any of this boardwalk is just, it's a tough way to go. Yeah, nice, they got nice jetty action here, and that's going to protect all of this dune and everything. It's going to definitely do a good job of protecting that. And okay. And off in the distance, a Ferris wheel. And this big building, like these shore homes like this, I love the style of them. There's just something about even that side of the home. It may look just basic, but I love it because it definitely, you know, having grown up in Philadelphia, my mom loved the shore. Definitely picked that up from her. She loved it down here. She loved Atlantic City. She loved Wildwood. But just seeing some of them, you know, the old houses, just brings back memories of the 70s. Was when I remember being down at the shore points for my first visits. Okay, we're going to scoot around here. As you can see by that sign, a little bit on an angle. This is Steel Pier. I got something I can share with you. Let's see. Scoot up here on the right. This is actually open, unlike stuff that's in the in Wildwood. It isn't. You really don't have access to the pier, and maybe I might get stopped too. Who the hell knows? But this is Steel Pier. And Steel Pier has an absolute legacy of history, of interesting things, you know what I mean? Like, cool stuff. Just gonna wander up this way. They take it apart. Some of this rock is within the history of Steel Pier. I remember back in the 70s, and I am a huge Batman fan, and I mean huge, and I bet you it was right around this area right here. They had one of those decorations. It's just that you pop your head in, and I'm gonna look for it at the house. But it's one of my favorite memories when I was a squirt. Me and my parents were here, and I got a picture in that Batman, and it's a pretty dope art too. You know, like looks like you got the costume on, but you're just standing behind a wooden design of his costume and just put your head in it. I love it, and I think that happened right in this area right here. But that was kind of cool just to stop in there, just to see. You know, didn't last long, but that's okay. No Hard Rock action back there. We have it, Resorts International, and I'll leave it. I'll text in later, but is it the right building or the left building that has all kinds of ghostly stories? They're certainly older. And then you click over here, and you got Hard Rock and Resorts, but it's one of these two buildings. I'll leave it.
손에 잡히지 않아 하는 일마다 망치는 걸 괜찮을 거라 생각해도 길을 잃은 채 헤매는 걸 쌓이는 문제 속에서 나
So I'm currently at Arkansas Avenue on the Atlantic City Boardwalk, and the significance of this area, what brings me to this, would be the incubator baby exhibit. Yes. So back when babies were premature, you know, late 1800s, the actual exhibit here was in 1902. Just imagine, right on this boardwalk, where you could come in and learn, or come in nowhere. It probably was right here, right in this area right here that I'm circling around. They had an exhibit of how preemies were taken care of, and you know, and it happened right here. And the exhibit, I think the exhibit was $1, and it started as early as 1902 here in Arkansas Avenue and the boardwalk in Atlantic City. It eventually, because that process became, and I don't know what year that was, became very customary to bring preemies to a mature position as a baby. The exhibit here, and it was also probably a PC problem as well, because a lot of the babies that were in that exhibit didn't make it. Atlantic City Boardwalk wasn't the only one that had that as an exhibit. I think Coney Island did as well, and it may not have been limited to just those two locations, but right here on Arkansas Avenue, like, think about, like, I know we've come a long way in being PC about things. That one right there probably was not a very, the etiquette level on that was not very good. Let's just say that. But it did happen right here at Arkansas Avenue and the boardwalk, right across from the $1 Million Pier, which is another item that you would probably consider Googling the history of the $1 Million Pier. Let's wander through here because this looks kind of cool, and find my next location for shooting. So that was that. The baby incubators exhibit, former location at Arkansas Avenue and the boardwalk. I had to absolutely document this building. Being a lover of fine music, I absolutely had to do that. This was, well, the former name of this was the Atlantic City Convention Hall. That's what this is right here. Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall is the name of it now. What significance does this building play? The very first concert I've ever seen, April 2nd, 1983, on the Speak of the Devil tour, Ozzy Osbourne, right here. And I talk about being a mark. I still listen to Ozzy, you know, the old records more so. Besides this building. But was absolute, you know, I was 16 years old. Yeah, that's 41 years ago. But yeah, Speak of the Devil tour, Ozzy Osbourne was here. The opening act was Vandenberg. I really don't remember much about them, but what a great show. And what a great opportunity to see him, because my parents actually went to the casino right down the street. Is that Caesars? Yeah, it is Caesars. So here's let me flip gears here. So we have the $1 Million Pier right there, and Caesars over here. And they actually went to the casino, and we went to, me and my buddies, shout out to Jason and Eric, went to this spot, Atlantic City Convention Hall, and saw Ozzy Osbourne. He opened up with I Don't Know. I remember drawing a picture when I got home of what the stage looked like. It really looked, the art isn't very good, and I know it's somewhere in my house, and I'll need to find that. But I remember drawing a picture. I love this. Let's slide it even further up. See if we can get even further out here. Look at this. But I remember drawing that picture, and it wasn't anything special, but it was just the memory of what the stage looked like, you know. And back then I was young enough to remember the song order, and when they played the songs, I remember doing that as well. Wanted to get another angle, yeah. Drew the picture, wrote the set list out on, just curling back. A little shot of the Atlantic there. But there it is. And I remember having that WYSP, which was definitely the metal station, having that bumper sticker that said Ozzy Rocks 94 WYSP, had that. And that stuff is somewhere in the house. I gotta find it. But this is it, Atlantic City Convention Hall. And I can only imagine I'm not the only one that saw their very first concert here, because they actually put on some really, really decent gigs in there. And here we are. Where are we at? Kennedy Plaza is the name of the street, and Atlantic City Boardwalk. The Boardwalk Hall, currently named Boardwalk Hall, formerly Atlantic City Convention Hall. I'm at the corner of Montpelier and Atlantic in Atlantic Avenue in Atlantic City, and I don't see the Elks Lodge, but this certainly was the area, somewhere in here, where one of the greatest punk rock shows that I have ever seen took place. Two massive headliners in Atlantic City at this intersection, 1985. I'm going to post the flyer on the video, on this video. It was Dick Kreutzen and Articles of Faith. And we had a Philly opener, Electric Love Muffin. What an amazing show. What a great time. I remember it was dealt with, but I remember my buddy taking his brother's car, and I think we could fit 5 in that brown Duster, and came down here and saw that show. It is on Freedom Has No Bounds YouTube page. Actual sets are on there. I know the Articles of Faith set is on there. It absolutely is a never forget moment for me, and it happened in this somewhere in an Elks Lodge. I don't see anything really remotely looking like one, and it's certainly not popping up on the GPS either. So, but absolutely happened right here at Montpelier and Atlantic Avenue in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Like about Atlantic City that I kind of wish Wildwood, which is something that I'm very familiar with, has done, is kept a lot of just the original architecture of their boardwalk, just the facades of the stores. To me, I love that, right? And I see that happen here a lot more frequently than it's happened in Wildwood. I love that. I love that vibe. Definitely takes you back. You know what I mean? I like that a lot. sub shop in Atlantic City on Arctic Avenue. And no, I'm not doing a food review, but what I'm going to say is somewhere around like 1980, no later than 1980, me and my parents came in here. Well, my parents brought me in here. I would never remember what the heck I had. But how about sitting right here, right in this spot? Was none other than Bill Cosby. And granted, things went weird in regards to his name. But at the time, being a massive Fat Albert fan, it just was like, oh my God. I remember me and my dad going back and forth. My dad's like, I should get an autograph. And I was scared, and I was scared, and I was scared. I finally walked up to him and asked him. And like, I remember that time. And this is kind of the interior of the White House sub shop. Is very, it's got tons of 8x10s of people that were in here. I see Jimmy Fallon right here. I'll flick this over. If you haven't been or would like to see it, let me flick this over. A little clip of my sandwich and the legend Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys had to record that. So here we go. Here is the White House, and I remember just wandering around this area. I remember this sign when I was a little kid, and this is the building right here. I do remember that sign though, and I kind of remember this too. This sign's awesome. And that's it. Mississippi Ave and Arctic, I believe. And it is right there. And I will say this much: I had a cheesesteak in there. It was good. It was good. The price, and I'm actually going to post it because I was impressed with the pricing, because a lot of times, a lot of these places that have these reputations, for whether it's hoagies or, cheese steaks, you know what I mean, or whatever, they got the name. I mean, the White House subs has been around since 1946. Tons of celebrities. The decor inside reflects, it's got that vintage vibe, nostalgic vibe. And you know what? The prices weren't bad. A lot of these places get reckless with their pricing the minute they become a thing of some type of notoriety, which is not cool at all. Okay. And there we have it up top. Very nice. Very nice for a parking lot. I mean, this is great. This is really, really nice. I love it. I love that. Yes, it does. Very good. Well done. And it curves around here. And you get a little, okay? Got a little this, like that. Okay. Whoops. A lot of goose poop here. This is my final location. Oh my God, a whole lot of goose poop. Makes sense, they're here. Folks, this spot right here, this is, oh my God, this is going to be bad. This is a place where goose poop is harvested. And on the odd day that that's not happening, this is Sandcastle Stadium. I will put in the actual name of it now. Its current name. I see it says the Sandcastle. Here goes more, plenty more geese. You guys really threw a monkey wrench into my day because I actually ran over 7 turds. And you know what? I don't know what's worse, goose poop or a small to medium-sized dog's turd. I gotta say, it's really a thing, and it's making it difficult to shoot what's happening here. So here we have it. Okay, we got this. There's the entrance, minor league baseball stadium. I don't know what's going on with this currently. I'm not really sure, but I am going to say the following. Oh, here's a nice little shot of Atlantic City from a distance. I was in this stadium one time, and it was not for baseball. It was for professional wrestling. And interesting parking lot and all. And more entry here. I'm gonna get down and get in the street. I think I got a better chance of not riding over any of the goosey poop. What I do want to say about this place, though, here's the outfield and the signage. Oh wow! Let's see if we can ride through. Let's see. Off-road. Now we're gonna ride down here. So the day I was here was for pro wrestling, and it was one of the, I'm going to post the actual card of wrestling, the list of everyone that was scheduled to appear, and I'm going to tell you right now, they all were here. They all were here. It was just off the top of my head, it was King Kong Bundy versus Jimmy Snuka, but rest in peace to both, right? Regardless of how we feel. Let me see here. I'm gonna get off this and get a little better look at this. And there's the Sandcastle. There you go. So the scoreboard from out here. Okay, cool. Show was booked so good. Everyone was old though, but it didn't matter because they were so. It was great. Yeah, the Road Warriors were here. Valentine and Beefcake were here. It was either King Kong Bundy or Bam Bam Bigelow, who, by the way, was booked against the Great Muta. Yes, the great. This show. Look at the card. Look at the wrestlers, and I'm telling you right now, they all showed up. Whatever current state of their health was, they were here. I remember Bundy, it was either Bundy or Bam Bam, had toilet paper hanging out their trunks. And I feel like it was Bundy. And he wrestled Snuka, and I remember it kind of quick, that I remember, but the fact that all these guys were here that absolutely loved and adored, and still do. And this show was in 2002. June of 2002, and I know a lot of people who didn't go to it were also saying to themselves prior to the event taking place, oh, this is not going to happen, and if it does happen, I can't wait to see who shows up. Oh my God, the poop again. And you know what? They all showed up. Muta, everybody was here. I remember seeing Hawk. They had a meet and greet. Kamala, it's where I got Kamala's autograph. Who else did I get? I definitely got Kamala. And I think I got Bundy. And it was great because I was able to, talk very short with King Kong Bundy about He stopped in a pizza place that I worked at in Wildwood quite often when he was working Wildwood Convention Hall. Super nice guy. Had his family in there the one night. Of course, I called everybody. I called everyone I knew to come over to see him. And when he sat in there with his family, I mean, it was King Kong Bundy, for God's sakes. That was 1980, 88, 87. And I'm probably getting, yeah. And but Hawk was in a great mood. I mean, I know it could have, God, been for whatever reason he was really, really happy, but he was jumping all over in the concourse because it was a meet and greet. And it was just good to see the Road Warriors. Killer moment, and I'm sure this is kind of the way it works with wrestlers. The actual top rope broke during the Muta Bam Bam Bigelow main event. The top rope just broke off, and they actually had to work the rest of the match acting like that rope was there, which was kind of like bizarre, but it was what it was. And I'll never forget that show. And it happened right here. It happened here at Sandcastle Stadium. Atlantic City had a minor league baseball. Obviously, they had a minor league baseball team. I really don't know the details on when that was happening. But this is also right by the airport. There's an airport. Maybe there isn't an airport anymore. I don't know. It says no trespassing here. Right there. So we're not going to do that. But yeah, Sandcastle Stadium in Atlantic City. I think it's called Surf Stadium now. I believe maybe one of the colleges is using it. I mean, it still looks really, really good. Scoreboard obviously needs work, but so I hope you enjoyed today's trip through Atlantic City. I definitely did. And if you did, like and subscribe, please. I mean, I'm planning on doing these for a long time, and these are the kind of these are the kind of events that kind of days I really want, where I travel out of town, out of the city, and really get a vibe, especially places that I had childhood memories in, or young adult memories in, or 20-something, 30-something, 40-something memories in. And yeah, so let's just go out with a nice final view of Sandcastle Stadium. And man, this boardwalk, I'm really, really, really impressed with their boardwalk. I really like the way it looks, and it runs for 5.8 miles. So the north end is where, all the casinos are, Steel Pier. Oh goodness, what was the other name? I already forgot oh goodness. Anyway, Steel Pier's down there. $1 Million Pier, I think it's called, is down there. And then it just stretches further south for like an eternity. And my understanding, it's down into Ventnor. But this is really, really nice. It's really, really nice. And I'm very impressed. It's just really, I just think this is really, really nice. It's very, very pretty.